The market for online courses has really grown since the pandemic. More people are choosing to study and upskill and do it from the comfort of their own homes. So, if you're a content marketer looking to repurpose your content and monetize your knowledge, you have to keep listening. You're listening to the Content 10x podcast, where it's all about content repurposing. I'm Amy Woods, and I'm here to help you maximize your content and find smart ways to get your message in front of more of the right people, whilst also saving time. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the Content 10x podcast. I'm your host, Amy Woods, the CEO and founder of Content 10x. And in this episode, I'm going to share with you the benefits of repurposing your content into an online course and explain why I believe online courses are a great resource to offer your audience. So keep listening to find out why online courses are gold for your audience, how creating original content as well as using repurposed content will make your course appealing, and 3 effective ways to transform your content into an online course. Now, on the podcast, I'm always explaining how content repurposing can benefit your content marketing strategy in so many different ways. And I touched on creating online courses before. So when I spoke to award-winning international speaker, trainer, podcaster, author, business owner, and all-round lovely lady, Teresa Heath-Waring, back in episode 109, she had some brilliant and inspirational stories and ideas. So do go and listen to that episode that's also about online courses. So that's at content10x.com/109. So even though I have touched on it before, I felt it deserved its own episode as it is such a timely topic. And I wanted to start with why I think online courses are so great to create. Forbes have said that the global e-learning market could be worth a whopping $325 billion by 2025. That's an astonishing figure, and it's proof that even though there are lots out there already, there is plenty of room for more online courses. Now, the pandemic had a big role in all of this. Millions of people suddenly finding themselves sat at home, and instead of twiddling their thumbs or making endless loaves of sourdough and banana bread, many did online courses. Students of all ages were forced to learn online, and the demand for informative, quality online courses grew massively. We actually created our own online course. It's called the Content 10x Toolkit, and in it we share video tutorials, checklists, guides, and more on how to implement content repurposing. It's really hands-on and great for anyone repurposing videos or podcasts. So head to content10x.com/toolkit to check that out. And we created it using a platform called Thinkific, which is a really excellent resource for anyone wanting to create an online course. There are other great platforms available that you can use, such as Kajabi, Udemy, and Teachable, just to name a few. It's definitely worth knuckling down and doing some research to figure out what platform is best suited to your business and your needs. And as you can hear, what's really good here is you don't need to work with developers and build an entirely new custom platform for your business to launch an online course. You can run these online courses on those great platforms that I just mentioned, and like I said, there's many more as well. So again, head to content10x.com/toolkit for more information on our toolkit, which is basically a course. We call it a toolkit, but it's on Thinkific, and it's essentially like a course. So how do you go about repurposing your content into an online course? First, it's important to remind yourself that although you are repurposing some of the material that is already out there for free, you aren't cheating. Don't worry about that, because it's all about giving people content in the right order, providing context and using your expertise to deliver on the promise of a course. And that's really important. The course should be specific with a specific outcome. For example, how to launch a podcast course, something like that. By the end, step by step, you'll know how to do that. And hopefully by the end of the course, you have launched a podcast. So the course can be put together by repurposing some of your blog posts, your webinars, videos, podcast episodes, for example. I think also it must have the inclusion of original elements as well to fill any gaps and to make it more of a complete experience. So let's get onto the repurposing side of things. Now, the first example I'm going to talk about is repurposing audio content into an online course. If you have a back catalogue of podcast episodes, flick through and pick out some of your most educational and high-rated content. So look at your download numbers and listen to your audience. The informative parts can be repurposed and even expanded upon to create a comprehensive audio course that's easy to follow and packed with information. Again, it's about the course having a purpose and a promise, finding episodes related to that, deciding the correct order, and adding some extra content as well. Video is also another really good medium for repurposing into an online course. I've actually covered video content quite a bit recently. So in episode 247, How to Create Content with a Video First Approach, I spoke about how many podcasters, radio shows, and marketers are turning to video as their core medium for putting out content. So do head to content10x.com/247 for more on that. Video is incredibly engaging for most people and is an effective format for getting your teachings across. Christine Mackay, the founder and CEO of animation studio Salamandra, was featured in episode 241 that was called How to Incorporate Animation in Your Repurposing Plan. It was a wonderful conversation, and she highlighted that the majority of people are visual learners. So if you do have a bank of engaging video content, then you're in a good starting point for repurposing some of that into an online course. And when I say video content, I don't just mean perhaps your video podcasts or YouTube videos. It could be video recordings of people in your organisation delivering talks. It could be from a virtual event or an in-person event. It could be from webinars. It could be from live streams, maybe even internal presentations that could be shared. So all that is video content that perhaps touches on and could help with the topic of your course. It would of course need to be formatted correctly and structured in an easy to follow and digestible manner, and obviously directly linked to the purpose of the course. If that's all great, then it could be perfect for your audience to learn from in your online course. That brings us on to the next idea, which is a written course. So if you're anything like me and the Content 10x team, then you've got loads and loads of written content. Whether it's long-form blog posts, cornerstone articles, white papers, thought leadership pieces, or even short content like social media posts, it's packed with great information for your audience. The written word is hugely impactful and it is really good at getting information across, so don't overlook it when planning your online course. One example of a written course could be an email course. So it would be along the lines of, please sign up to my 10-day course on how to improve your team morale, for example. And every day over the course of 10 days, people would get an email providing them with useful advice, guidance, and maybe an actionable takeaway. Perhaps every day there is a daily task that they must complete as part of this 10-day course on how to improve team morale. Obviously, that's just a fairly random example, but just trying to explain the point there. And that kind of course can make a great lead magnet as well. So that can be really, really useful. So like with the other two examples, if you hone what you have, expand on your points and add new content and cut what isn't relevant, you'll have the basis for an excellent online course that your audience will want to get their hands on. And now it's really, really important to mention that it doesn't have to be an either or approach to your online course. Why not put together a multimedia course that combines video, audio, and written content as well? If it adds value and can be repurposed, then why not use it? So, for example, Module 1 could have the online course participants watching a video. Module 2 could have them reading some content and completing some sort of action. Module 3 could have them listening to some audio and reading some content as well. Module 4's back to a video, and so on. So those are just a few examples of ways to repurpose existing content into an online course. And as I mentioned earlier, there's no harm in creating original content for your course, but putting on your content repurposing hat and freshening up what you have is certainly a great place to start and might save you some time. And I think probably a hybrid approach is really good for creating an online course. Some repurposed content and plenty of original content as well, so mixing it up. If you're interested in exploring content repurposing but you don't have time or resources, then we can help. So find our library of blog posts and podcast episodes at content10x.com, or head to content10x.com/services to find out what we can do for you and how we can help you with your content repurposing. And I also have a book called Content 10x, More Content, Less Time, Maximum Results, which you can find at content10x.com/book, or just go on to Amazon or Barnes & Noble online and you will find the Content 10x book. And the book is the perfect companion to our toolkit, which I mentioned earlier is the ultimate guide to repurposing every type of content. So there we go. That wraps up this episode. All that's left to say now is thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you in the next one.